back to another week of being real. Hi guys. So, new location. I left. I left New York. I left New York, headed down south. I'm in North Carolina for a bit. Um, Sometimes you just need to change. You need a little switch up, change of scenery, especially to kick off this year. A change of scenery was necessary to plan out what the rest of this year was going to look like and exactly what habits I was going to commit to. So, here we are. Um, let's see, today. Um, today. So, like I said, I'm in North Carolina. I'm with family. So I'm gonna do a lot of working slash hanging out with the family, and then slash a lot of talking to God and figuring out what we're gonna do for 2023. I'm excited for that. Am I still crying out to the Lord? Absolutely. I shouldn't even say I'm crying out anymore, because week 3 of starting this new habit, and I found myself just immediately inviting him into my decisions. So I know last week I had mentioned increasing the amount of times that I ask him to help me make a decision. Yeah. The goal is, and I'm quoting James Clear, to be 1% better than yesterday. So, again, 1% better than yesterday. I am definitely moving from a stage of having to think about talking to God to I'm talking to God as I'm like moving throughout the kitchen. We're gonna work out. Since I'm not near my yoga studio, we're gonna do some cardio. My brother recently bought a bike, so I'm gonna commit to 30 minutes on the bike every day, because we gotta stay active. I quit coffee. I don't know if I told y'all, but I quit coffee. That was ridiculous. That was insane. I quit coffee about 3 days ago. Right after I finished that last vlog, I quit coffee. And I quit it because I was finding myself reliant on a cup of coffee. I was irritable. And I was spicy. And I knew it was because I didn't have a cup of coffee. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that feeling. I was irritable. And also, I'm a 5 a.m.er, and I didn't feel like I could wake up at 5 without starting the day with coffee, and I didn't like that. So, we're doing a full body restart, which we tend to do this. I'm Jamaican, and in my culture, we tend to do like tonics and washouts, as we call them, and detox. So I'm starting one now, because it made no sense for me to be exercising and stretching and praying, and the whole of my insides is doing backflips because I got caffeine in me. We're gonna start fresh, and I'm gonna give myself a nice start to the year. So if you want in on my detox program, reach out to me. I can share that as well. It's beautiful. The weather is really nice. It's really nice out here today, as you can see. It ain't that New York cold. It's not that New York cold. I promise you, when I went to the nail shop on Sunday, the air went into my throat and choked me at New York. It did. It choked me. It grabbed me. And I was mad. I wanted to fight the wind. I said, I got to get out of here for a little bit. I got to get out of here. So here I am. Grateful that I can get out of here when I say I got to get out of here. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay. It's contingent on work. But I promise I won't leave you guys behind. Again, 1% better than yesterday, okay? I'm gonna try to also do something different. Bible talk tomorrow. But I'm gonna capture a little bit more content for you guys so y'all can see what's going on. I adore y'all. Have a blessed day. Whatever space you're in, make sure they know the difference. I'll see you tomorrow. Hi guys, happy Saturday. Yes, it is Saturday. My angels are sleeping, so let's quickly get into Bible talk. Grab your Bibles. We are in Hebrews. We might jump into James. I'll be right back. All right. Hi guys. Let me go. Look, I got all these messages. Now, I didn't bring my journal Bible with me, mainly because it was just too heavy, and I packed a little carry-on because I keep a carry-on with like basic things on standby just in case I have to pick up and go, because that's my life. So it's normal for me, but I don't bring my journal Bible with me, so perhaps I should consider investing in a smaller size Bible. So I'll look into that, and if you guys have any thoughts about that or any tips, please share. I need a Bible that I can travel with that isn't 22 pounds, and the fine print, the font isn't 9. Remember those little baby Bibles we got? Yeah, we don't want that. Man, good times. We definitely did. The little pocket ones. No, I don't want that. But today, let's jump. Okay. So we left off with Hebrews. That was the last time we were chatting about Hebrews, and I've really been meditating on this verse, Hebrews 6 verse 10. God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. I have been meditating on that one a lot. One of the things that I do is I keep a Bible verse I memorize a Bible verse that helps to combat whatever challenge I'm enduring in life. So if there's something you're struggling with and there is a verse that immediately eases you or immediately validates how you're feeling or helps you change that habit, memorize it and just say it in the moment that you're aware of, in the moment that you're aware that things are shaky. So I continued reading Hebrews and actually ended up in James. So let's go to James 1, and I'm reading from NIV. I'm going to jump to verse 2, and I'll read it for you. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God. Like, cry out to the Lord. who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do. Whew. That was the last of 8. There's a lot there. Let's unpack. Consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds. That one is very tricky. But I have to say, once you get to being mature and complete, that's what helps ease facing trials and considering it pure joy. That is very hard. To be in a space where you're being challenged and you have to keep in mind that this challenge is there to test your faith, and on the other side of this, it's you evolving who you are, you being more obedient, you being more disciplined, and on the other side of that, you will be the person you want to be. That is tough. And maybe not even the person you want to be, but just be a more mature, evolved version of who you are. But to consider it pure joy, that's a hard one. I think for me, there's moments that I get relief during a trial, and I have to keep putting that in perspective whenever it gets rough. Focusing on the wins in the middle of a rough time helps me to get through it being rough. And then you guys already know I have been on this journey of asking God, inviting God into my decisions. So that's my priority. Whenever I'm overwhelmed or it's just too much, I no longer sit and ruminate and figure out ways to fix it. Once I feel like it's here, no, I'm gonna take that back. Once I feel like it's here, I used to wait till it was here. I did. I used to wait till it was here. Now, if it gets about here, I'm immediately asking God. I'm immediately crying out to Lord. I'm like, oh yeah, God, you're gonna have to fix this one. And I recently took that on. It's working. I want to say it's working because I'm less anxious. And I've also witnessed him doing things that I knew I couldn't do, which is a big win. So I definitely would say it's a test of my faith, and it'll probably be a test of your faith too, because you're believing in something bigger than you, higher than you. The next thing I wanted to talk about that I thought was interesting is when you ask for wisdom, but you intervene. That's a funny one. And it's very common. It's very common to ask God for help and then you intercede. Or rather, you interject and you've already given that to God. I don't think that's what we should be doing. If we lack wisdom and we ask God, and it says here that God gives generously, so he's going to give us more than what we want to know, or however many times we need the wisdom, without looking down at us. So you might have experienced that in human form, where you don't want to ask for help, or you don't want anyone to know that you don't know this piece of knowledge, because once people know, they'll judge you and think less of you. That's not a good feeling. But here in James, he reminds us that we can go to him how many times with how many questions, and he won't judge us for not knowing. But the other side to that is you have to believe and not doubt. That's another hard part. You can't ask him for wisdom, wait on the wisdom, get the wisdom, but then don't believe that this wisdom is true. because then you're a shaky person. I know, very shaky. And a shaky person looks like highs and lows. So you believe in something in the morning, and by noon something happens to you. You get a phone call, you get some sort of disappointment, and you're back to square one with not believing that what God placed in your heart to be true is actually going to be true. Throughout your days, it's this constant fight and battle with yes and no. That is a person who is double-minded. They are not solid in their choice. Once you make a decision and a commitment, which I'm not going to tap into the world, but it is very common right now for people to be double-minded. And for us to accept people when they're double-minded. Oh, I want to do this, and then by Tuesday, I don't want to do that anymore. That's shaky and unstable. You don't want that. No, you don't. At least I don't want that. But it's even more reason why your purpose has to be grounded in God, has to be grounded in His plan, because that goal doesn't change. The plan, the way it looks like changes, but the core of what He wants for your life remains the same. Which will ground you when things get rough or when you feel like I'm not on the right path. Sometimes feeling lost isn't really feeling lost. Sometimes feeling lost is you on the journey towards the goal. It feels the same though. Lost is when you have no goal and you're just existing. But giving God the power in your life and the decisions, it can feel like you're lost. It can feel the same, as if I don't know what the next step is. But that's the faith. That's the faith part. I know, that's the faith part. And I only clarified, I wanted to talk about those feelings because another piece of this faith walk is redefining your feelings. Because sometimes something can feel sad and it's actually not sad. It might be something else. It just feels like your experience with sadness. So there's a lot to take on in this journey, especially when you're going through a trial, especially when you're going through a trial. I told you guys when I asked God, when I committed to crying out to the Lord, I felt like immediately thereafter, He turned it up. He did. It was like level 68 Street Fighter fight, and He did not let up and ensure that there were obstacles that came towards me that I knew was here. So I didn't even try. I said, oh, I know what this is. Let me stop. I don't know. I'm telling myself now that I'm done. I am not a coffee drinker. I no longer drink coffee. That's where I am. I supplemented it though with teas, a lot of mint tea, chamomile. That I use in my morning routine now instead of the coffee. So here we are. I just considered that if I was doing this whole journey with God, that I not only made sure that my actions aligned to my values, but that I was actually putting things in my body that would help me be my best self. So now I'm looking at myself holistically, not just my knowledge or what I look like or how I behave, but actually things that I'm putting in my body. And that is actually in the book. You know the book we're reading? Somebody remind me. Atomic Habits. It's in the book. So, let's finish. I'm jumping to James 1 verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. Oh, I feel like I just said that. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. So now I have to start changing my language when I say I feel like God turned it up a level. Because it says here, we should not say God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. The onus of whether I choose the right decision or the wrong decision will be on me. God has given me free will. So I guess what I can say is life turned itself up levels where it was harder for me to make the choice between what was right and what was wrong. Yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna phrase it moving forward. That I was experiencing life in ways that was making it harder to choose what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing. Look at that, we just learned. Because there's power in your words. So we have to be very careful about how we say things, because there's life and power in what we say. So throughout this journey, it's up from here. As long as I'm evolving, well, no, as long as God has his hand on this YouTube, I promise you, it's up. It's up from here. So now, we are being cognizant of God is tempting me. We gotta erase that at you from the vocabulary and turn it into life is lifing, and it is a bit harder to choose between what is right and what is wrong. Although our desire is to do what is right. Let's jump down to 19. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. This one is dear to my heart because it's literally, that's how I live. Quick to listen. I am a listener. I'm a listener. I can sit down and listen to people. I listen, and I'm very slow to speak, and I'm slow to become angry. So slow to become angry that for years, if I knew I was going to be angry, I would just disappear on the person or the thing. If I knew I was going to be angry, I would just disappear on the person or the thing. It's only been recently where I've expressed my anger, and I went through the phases of expressing my anger at a level 10 to figuring out, how do I express my anger in a way that is calm and cool. But I'm very slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. And I just don't see the value in it anymore. Now I can be upset, but as far as anger and forcing people to do things that I want them to do, we ain't doing that no more. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. I am committed to the theory that people do what they are capable and willing to do. Case closed. No dissertation, no explanation out of that one. So yeah, quick to listen. So listen more. If you are someone who interjects or has a hard time listening, listen more and listen to understand. Be slow to speak. I ask a lot more questions. I'm a question asker more so than a statement giver. If you're talking to me, it's more than likely I'm going to ask a lot of questions. Mainly because I want you to have the opportunity to be clear about what you're saying. And then also I want to make sure that we are understanding the same thing, because people talk, but you can interpret it differently. And that's where a lot of miscommunication comes. So ask more questions. Just make sure you are very clear that the two of you, or whoever you're talking to, whatever you're speaking to, you both have the same understanding of what's being said. Then I jump to 22. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in the mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. That's funny. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. I talk to you guys about this. It's important that your values align to your action. If you know better, you got to do better. And that's something my parents used to say. And as I get older, I know what that means. But no, for real, if you know better, it is in your best interest to do better. Because you know it. You know it. I gave us a lot today. I'm gonna end here. If you want, go ahead and finish reading James 24 and on, and then also read James 2, because that's what I'm gonna read tonight. Yeah, because verse 26 is very interesting, and I'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll squeeze some time in tomorrow. I'm heading back to New York in a few days, and then we'll be back to our regular schedule. But go ahead and finish reading James, and we'll pick up with Bible talk tomorrow. Switching gears. It's a beautiful day, by the way, here in North Carolina. The sun is shining. The weather is weathering. It is gorgeous. I think I'm going to take the kids to the park. And then we're going to come back and chill, maybe have a movie night or something. My mom is here, thank God, because Lord knows I needed the help. Could not have done it by myself. Absolutely not. I don't know how anybody does parenting by themselves. We are a village family. We're a village family, and a village family is a family who works together. Like, we share the responsibility of all the children, the evolution, the thinking. We come together often and talk about where we want to go, what we're going to be doing, family meetings. Everyone's an expert in certain things, and instead of one person being the onus of the responsibility, which typically happens in a Jamaican Caribbean family where there's like one matriarch, that I did not want to be the case moving forward with the future generations. If you didn't know, I'm a first generation Jamaican American. So my parents are from Jamaica, actually. They migrated here. We didn't want one person to be responsible for keeping the family together. So as a family who functions as a village, everyone uses their expertise to support each other. So my go-to is education. So I'm heavy in the kids' education life. Heavy. Like, they know, call me, drop of the dime, I'm there, right? Y'all know I fight for kids all over the country. So of course I was going to fight for my own blood. So that's that. And the rest of my family members have their own expertise, and they help out with using their expertise to elevate the family. So yeah. I said all of that to say, thank God my mom came. She's retired, so she was able to jump on a plane with me to come help with watching the kids. So that's that. We gonna do updates on dating. I am not. I haven't dated in the last week. Neither have I followed up with any of those text messages. So I'm just asking God for I don't think those are gonna work. So we're just gonna let those fizzle out. And I'm asking God for a fresh anointing. With that being said, I have been dealing with a lot of old people coming back. I know. And in my heart, I feel like it is a test of my faith. It is a test of it is not God tempting me, because I just learned that lesson. It is life happening and me having to make the decision between what is the right thing for me to do and what is the wrong thing for me to do. I'm extending grace, and what that looks like is no response. And I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with that. I'm very comfortable with that, that action, because I can't control people. And I've blocked folks. I've called servers to block folks that, when people, unfortunately, if people want to get in touch with you, they're gonna find ways to get in touch with you. So I've done everything I could to prevent these things from happening. But what I've learned is I don't have to respond in a way that's harmful to me by anybody's actions. So regardless if I set a boundary of I no longer want to engage with you and they continue to attempt, but that doesn't have to ruin me, because I can't control people. And I think that's so powerful, because now I don't have to get upset. I don't have to get upset. My sister-in-law got me this from Dubai. It is my name in Arabic. Love it. I love it. And I love good gifts. Like, I like fine jewelry, and it being my name, I'm into it. Love it. So I think I hear the kids. I'm at the point of my auntyhood where I can hear their movements. I can hear their movements, big or small. And I think I hear one of them. Be right back.
is impossible to understand.
You like it? Wow.
Like dolphins.
Wow.
Humans. Doesn't mean that God doesn't understand
Wow.
what you are saying. So, instead of getting all these nosy people to be your prayer partner, who just want to get in your business and call each other up and say,
what was that element? Intensity. I can't hear you. Intensity. A little bit louder. That's all right, because I know the one secret to getting these elements back in shape.
What's that, Mr. King of Music?
Organization. Timbre and intensity are organized in a way that makes people feel things. That's music.
No sleep.
In fact, music can make all sorts. Or anything in between. That's what makes me feel groovy, man. That's what makes me feel excited.
Hi guys, I'm back from New York. I am back. It's good to be an auntie and around my family, but it's also good to be back home in my space. Last night I got off the plane and was telling my mom I'm gonna go home and vlog. I was telling my mom I'm gonna go home and vlog. I was so tired last night. And it's just something about being in your bed, right? Like being in your bed. It's a different type of sleep. So I'm gonna wrap this up this morning. And then I guess all day today, I have a lot of work to do. I have business work to do. I have some folks I need to follow up with on the business end. I have some content I need to create. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to get this out by today. Literally. It's Tuesday. This is going out today for y'all. But get your Bibles. And a lot of you have been asking me about this Bible. I'm going to put the link in the description for you guys so you can get this too and we could be on this journey. Wait, before we do Bible, I always do this. Back it up. Sunday, I want to talk about confirmation. Because confirmation has been playing a really big role in my life. Confirmation, what is it to me? Confirmation is when I'm in a season of making decisions and shifting and stepping out on faith. And I hear God by means of multiple people, multiple thoughts, multiple situations that have nothing to do with each other. One day, I was watching my guy TD, and he started talking about how the body, the spirit, and the soul had to be in alignment. Y'all, you can read because I was just talking about how I was going to change my eating because it didn't make any sense to me to work on my mind, work on my spirit, but then the things that I was putting in my body, the caffeine, was exasperating my situation or not benefiting me. I said, oh. Once I heard him say that, I said, okay, God, this message is for me. This message is for me and I receive it. I am doing the things you want me to do. Second thing he said on Sunday that rocked my world. Putting your ego to the side and just calling out for help. I said, no, this man is not talking to me through the screen. Not thinking so highly of yourself to the point where you have to have all the answers. Not thinking so highly of yourself that you need to have all the answers and not allow God to help you through this season. Literally just crying out for help. And he also talked about another thing, which I think a lot of people struggle with their prayer life, is finding the right words to say to God when you're praying. That's a thing too, where you feel like I'm praying, but am I praying the right way? No such thing, right? And he validated that by saying, just pray. Sometimes you're just mumbling words because the Lord knows your heart. You don't have to have it eloquently said. It doesn't have to be in a certain vernacular. It don't have to be in Latin. The Lord will hear what you have to say because he knows your heart. So all you have to do is make space for your prayer life. Y'all, I wrote down in my Bible to improve my prayer life. That's where the whole cry out to the Lord started. Don't make light of when things are falling into place. You're supposed to be doing this. The thing that is very hard to do, if God is bringing you opportunities and people, listen. Open up your ears, open up your eyes. Listen. Don't take it lightly. I had a friend of mine call me up and was like, listen, I was praying and God said for you to move. I said, move where? Move how? Move what? But guess what? I knew exactly what she was talking about when she said move, because I had been praying on an act. And y'all, I'm not even going to hold you. I am the one to be asking God, are you sure? Send me another sign. It needs to be clear. She called me up and was like, you need to move. Yep. And I knew exactly what she was talking about. Sometimes people tell you things, and to be honest, you don't need an explanation. You don't. You know in your heart what they're talking about. And they don't need to provide you with a whole dissertation of what they're talking about or what. You don't need that. 4 letters, move. I knew what she was talking about. She hung up the phone right after, and I was like, thanks. We didn't need to carry. We didn't need to keep talking because I knew what she was talking about. I had been praying about it. Don't block your blessings. I'm here because I need you to know that you're not alone. And God wants to do some special and great things with you, but you've got to get out of your head. You got to get out of your head. So, we was in Hebrews, right? Actually, you know what? Nah, y'all got enough content for this one. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna head to, I'm off to go run some errands really quick. Definitely doing yoga tonight. I'll be there. I'm gonna come back, but we're gonna wrap up this vlog.